guys, it's Nick the Booksmith. Welcome back, welcome back. So I thought I would show you the little vignette. I promised that I would let you check that out in a little bit more detail. And I'll talk about the materials I used to put it together. You know the bookcase, of course. And what I used for the walls was a piece of foam core board, foam board, like you would get at the hobby store for, I don't know, a backdrop for a kid's science fair experiment. You know what I'm talking about. Foam board. Let me see if, do I have a piece here? This is a piece of foam board. This is a little thicker than what I used. Let's see if I can. It's just I don't know, it's cheap. It's just cheap foam board, but it's fairly sturdy. So there wasn't going to be any weight per se on the walls. So this was actually one piece, and what I did was I scored it up and down the back, but I didn't cut all the way through. I only cut through the back, and then it just bent. Because on the foam board, it's got like a plasticky paper coating, and so I just left that intact for that corner. The paper is actually, it's scrapbook paper, and it is, sorry, I had to go rummaging around to find it. So it was this Downton Abbey pack that I found at, is the camera, are we focusing? I got it at Tuesday Morning. Oh, probably close to 2 years ago, and as you can see, it was $6.99, which probably was not the original price, I'm thinking. There were some pretty cool choices in here, but I wanted to stay fairly neutral, so I went with this taupey, pretty neutral, and it's got this, here's the companion one in the, like a tealy blue, and it has a little stripe and like a diamond and a dot pattern on it. So I used the taupe colored one. That was 2 pages that I used, and that was on the top, this top half of the wall. Then down here on this bottom half of the wall, I did the same thing that I did on the side of the cabinet, where I used the stencil and the modeling paste. And then what I did was painted it black. And after I sanded it like I did on the bookcase, instead of rubbing distress ink into it, I used some gold metallic paint, and I just dry brushed it to give it kind of a foiled kind of look. And let's get you closer so you can actually see what's going on. I hope I'm not losing my light in here. Okay, there we go. I dragged the table closer to my back door that has the window in it, so you could see what was going on. And we got, Uncle Milty got cattywampused. But that's what I put. I did a horrible job. Look at that. Look at that horrible job. I was tired. So when I made these art pieces to go on the wall, I put the wire on both of them with these little handmade, as you can tell they're handmade, just little pieces of paper that I punched holes in so that they would hang like artwork on wire. Because I didn't want to attach it to the wall itself, because knowing me, I will want to use this again, but I won't want it to look the same. So I hung them up on wire so that I could switch out the artwork if I wanted to. And the same thing with the little poster on the wall. It's not attached permanently. It's just hanging by, hold on, I think I put the camera too low. It's hanging by a brad that I put through. I punched a hole in the wall, and I put a little hot glue on the back of the brad, and then I pushed it through. And then that little poster, like one of those posters, those educational posters that you can get, Cavallini makes them, and well, a lot of people make them, but they're on the little wood dowels, and they're supposed to be like mimic school educational posters. And this one is flowers, so I thought that was cute. And then below that we have the little pieces of artwork, and These are mounted on little tiny canvases. So this one is on a little wood-backed, it's a stretched canvas. And so it was actually a print that I did. I printed this out, but then, let's see if I can get the camera to pick it up. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. I painted on top of it. So I went over the painting with paint. Maybe, does that show up? So that you could see a little bit of texture on there. So I didn't paint the background. It was mostly just the flowers, and I repainted the jar because the jar actually didn't look like that. It was all in blue. I painted the painting on top again. And then this one I did not. This one is some paper that I have. I'll have to show you these packs of paper sometime because they're fabulous. And then this one, of course, was the water lilies. And this is just a printout. I didn't have time to paint over all of them. This one did not get the treatment. But the little easel back here, I painted the easel. And I just wanted a little bit of some, I don't know, just some artwork sitting around. And then here we've got a little set of keys. Please pardon my hands. I've been playing with paint and ink. So my hands are filthy with ink because it doesn't all come off. So there are some little tiny keys that sit on top of this book and a little envelope with a little letter. And then this is just a little blank book. Little writing journal. So that's what went down in this vicinity. And then down here in the drawer, I printed out some maps after I scaled them down, and this one got folded up and inked so it looked like it was well used. And then these are just all rolled up maps, all different kinds of maps. Some of them were too brilliant, and so they needed to be muted down, and then some of them weren't brilliant enough, so they needed to be brightened up. So those all got edited and printed out onto parchment paper, and I made little maps to stick in the drawer and make it look like everything's, one of these was laying out. I had one laying out. I'll put the map back in there. And then of course there is the globe, and I have it just sitting on one of the books down here on the bottom, just to give it some lift. And I put the little shell, I'm gonna knock everything over. I put the little shell specimen box behind that one. It doesn't have any acetate on it, but now on the bookcase itself, there are a couple of tiny little, see if my hands can get it in the right spot so the camera can pick them up. There they are. So inside these vials are really, really dinky little tiny watch parts. And Cheryl sent these to me. And they are, I mean, dinky, dinky, dinky little tiny watch parts, little hands. Those are little hour and minute hands. Oh my gosh, they're so tiny for like wrist watches. So Cheryl sent those to me, what, last year, Cheryl? And I've been hoarding them, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with them. And for now, they're going in the vignette because they're the perfect size and they're adorable. I rolled up some paper from a dictionary and made a scroll, and also a little bit of sheet music. I made a couple of little hand-tied scrolls to just set down here with the books. We've got the butterfly specimen box back there. There's the one with the stones. The precious stones is behind it, which you guys probably saw already in the specimen box video. So that went in there as well. Of course, then I just have the books sitting around, and I put one of the little Tim Holtz, I don't know what he calls those things. They're little domes. I don't know what they are. Anyway, I put some greenery in there just to make it look cute. So the only other thing I can think of would be the carpeting, and it is a pattern that I put up at Spoonflower, and I had it printed on I think it's either dogwood denim or cotton canvas. It's one of those. It just fit perfectly. It was the right scale. If I like roll back a little bit, I did not trim it down very much. I had a piece that was just bigger and I didn't want to cut it down because what if I want to use it for something else? So I didn't cut it. I just kind of laid it there because I'm a big fat weenie and I didn't want to mess myself up for another project later if I needed it for something else. There we go. Maybe that's better. The colors went so well with the wall. They all kind of blended together, and I didn't want something that was bright and going to overwhelm the bookcase and everything on it. I wanted the bookcase to be the focal point, not the walls and the carpeting necessarily. So I wanted something that was just going to blend, be beautiful, be a beautiful background, but not overtake what the focal point was. So that's why I went with a golden taupey kind of a background. And then you could probably barely see it, but I did wood trim. So there's trim here. There's a big, huge chair rail, big beefy chair rail here. And then I also did around the bottom edge, I did molding around the bottom edge of the room as well. So everything is trimmed out just like a real wall would be. I wanted it to look good up close too. I didn't want it just to look good from far away, but I wanted it to look kind of cool up close. So that is the chair rail, big chunky chair rail there. And my battery's about to die on my camera. And here is the chair rail underneath the crooked painting over there. So at the bottom there's a little quarter round, and then there's a flat baseboard behind it. And then you can kind of see the up close of the embossed gold wall behind it. And then there is the railing up around the top. And you can see the sides of the foam board down here. But there's the carpet. The carpet's pretty cool. It just kind of blends in. I like the way it looked. So that is the vignette. That is all she wrote. I thought I would show that to you today because we have the bookcase challenge coming to an end. It is May 1st. So I have been collecting pictures, and there's at least one or two up on YouTube that I'll be able to link to. Hope everybody had fun making their little bookcases. There's been some fabulous work. I'm amazed at your genius. Incredible work. Okay guys, well I will let you go for now. I've got 10 billion things to do. I have a lot of friends that tell me that they're bored. My life doesn't stop. My life goes on. It just keeps on chugging along no matter what the outside world does. I'm still hoofing it. So I'm going to get back to work, but I will see you really soon. One project that I am testing out right now, and another project that a subscriber shared with me that I've also been tweaking because I didn't have the exact same things he did, so I had to improvise, and I want to show you both of those because I think you're going to like them. All right, guys, big, huge love from Nick the Booksmith, and I will see you guys really, really soon in the next video. Bye, guys!